Hello everybody, you're here with Claro Beauty with your host Claudia Lara. Thank you very much for tuning in. So today I'm very excited about this video. So part of it is I want to do a full look for, now that New Year's is coming up, or the end of the year, the 31st. So that would be one thing. I want to use the Pat Mcgrath, the new palette, the number 11, which is called Huethian Dream, Mothership 9. So we're going to be doing that. But the most important, and one of the reasons I'm so excited, I'm also going to be trying the Rare Beauty Blush and Glows. This is probably not the newest color, but I wanted to try the formula, and so I'm excited about this. But the most important, the most excitement is, one of you asked me after the foundation video, what was the difference between the Guerlain L'Essential and Lisa Eldridge? Now, this is a very interesting comparison, and I appreciate that she wrote that the Essential is in the category of formal, because if you saw that video, I categorized the foundations to wear them to what or for what reason, right? So this comparison is a little bit off because in my mind, L'Essential is more for formal wear. And so I would be comparing it more to La Mer, which was one of my favorite for formal wear. However, she asked me to compare it to Lisa Eldridge, and Lisa Eldridge to me is more in a casual social event. So it's still going out there, but maybe more daylight or maybe a little less formal. I don't know what else to say about it, right? So to me, they're not in the same category. However, it would be very interesting comparison precisely for that reason, to see if the Lisa Eldridge could be used for formal wear or what the differences are. So if you are interested in seeing that, keep on watching. So right now, as you can tell, I'm bare skin. And I wanted to do this because this way you can see the difference from nothing to something. And so I'll be applying both. I don't know if I'll keep all that film here, but you'll see the result of I'm going to do half of my face with one and the other half with the other. Now, what do I have so far in my face? The usual skincare. I'm still using Victoria Beckham Rejuvenating Serum and Moisturizing and Primer. But I added the Bobbi Brown, the Vitamin Enhanced Face Base. And this is a very moisturizing cream, and it is used precisely when you need a lot of moisture. For some of you, if you've been with me, you know that my skin is dry. And when I tried the Guerlain, which I post the video already also, it's not the one in the foundations. I actually tasted it after. But when I did, what I found is that it enhanced some of my wrinkles. So if you notice, I have wrinkles, right? You can see them there, but they're like lines. But with this foundation, it seems like the product got in between. So it enhances, the wrinkle looks more enhanced like this, and then you can see the product in. That is not a good thing. So, but as I said also, whatever you do before the foundation makes a big difference. And since I kind of said that, against that foundation, not against, but about that foundation, let me put a pro. One thing that I did like, because I know that one is a favorite, and it's actually a favorite for a lot of YouTubers. One of the pro with the Guerlain foundation is it is brightening. So you do look a little more brightened, and that reminds me a lot of one of my favorites, which is the Drew Drop, the Surat foundation. They have the same kind of brightening, talking about Guerlain and Surat, right? They have the same type of brightening, but this one I consider more casual because it looks more skin-like, looks thinner. And so this one is a little more formal, we say medium covered. It still looks beautiful. I'm gonna put it on. But now we're gonna compare it with the Lisa Eldridge. Now, Lisa could be kind of in the middle because it can be built, but they're very different. So I'm very curious as well. So let me apply them. So I just said what I have on. On top of that, I will be adding the Guerlain Eyebrow Royale oil, because when I tried the Guerlain foundation, I did see a difference on half of my face. I put the oil and half I didn't. And I saw the difference in the what I just described on the wrinkle sort of situation. So I'm very curious now when I put the oil again, and now I put the vitamin, the Bobbi Brown cream, which is very, very moisturizing. So I'm trying to see how that look. And I will put the oil all over my face. I don't think it'll hurt, even though on the other side, I usually don't need it for Lisa's. But in this case, at least for this side, I'm trying everything I can to see if the Guerlain foundation will work for me. Because I did like the long lasting, I did like the brightening effect, but I did not like how it enhanced my wrinkles. So I added the oil, which helped last time. And now I'm going to apply the Guerlain foundation on this side and the Lisa Eldridge on this side. So let me go and do that. Okay, so far I applied the Guerlain foundation on this side of my face. Look how pretty, but I do want to say that this, as it sets, it oxidizes a little bit. So look how beautiful the color looks now. And of course it's almost, if not my skin color, right? And if you notice, it does make it a fine canvas for me to start with. Now we'll see what happens there. You can already see the difference between the left and the right. See what I mean about enhancing the wrinkles? And I put the cream, I put the oil. So if you don't have that issue, or if you probably have a little bit more normal to oil, probably that's not an issue. But so far, but I want you to see because it oxidizes a little bit. So now, I love the brightening, and look how beautiful my skin looks here. It's just in my little trouble areas that it doesn't work out for me. But now I'm gonna apply, and I wish I could apply the La Mer so I can compare, but we're gonna try the Lisa Eldridge since it's one of your requests, and I always welcome those. I'm excited about it. So let me apply the other side with the Lisa Eldridge. All right. So I apply now Lisa Eldridge on this side and Guerlain El Essential on this side. So far, look at myself here. All right, so it seems this one does wonders. I already see for, you know, everything that has to do with pores or texture, or if you notice, it just looks a little more softer and nice. And I don't have large pores, and I usually don't have an issue with having the large pore situation, but I see this a little very porcelain-like. So far I love this part. I don't like the part with the wrinkle, which is my forehead. And we'll see what starts happening around here, which is another of my trouble areas. So on this side, you can already tell, so it doesn't have that brightening effect, but it has this sort of reflection of light effect. I mean, if you notice, it just makes it elegant and subdued. It just smooths it out like that. But look how different the effect is. And if you can see, I can still see the colors, you know, darker. So more skin-like. That's why I wouldn't say this for formal. I would use this more casual every day for that reason. This one, it seems more all together. But, you know, tell me what you think, right? And this one, I don't know if you can tell, but I have mentioned the ashy. There's some ashy grayish sort of look. And I think that's on purpose. I think that's how she wanted it. Precisely to give that, I don't know if it's called vintage or that kind of elegant, subdued, kind of taken back, kind of that Renaissance sort of appearance. So again, this is brightening in my view. So, all right, let's moving on. The color also, I think this one, even though it's brightening, I see it a little warmer, tiny little bit. This one is a little more whiter, but I think it has to do with the ashy part. So, because even if I was wearing a number 5 here, this is number 7, number 5, it would look a lot whiter. But there it goes. All right, here it is. Okay, so we're gonna do the tone 4 Infamous, right? I love this cream. It could be this, or I could also use the Westman Atelier, the stick biscuit for this kind of contour, but I just find this one to serve more like a contour and bronzing, sort of in the same thing. And since it's cream, I appreciate it. And since we're gonna be using the Rare Beauty blushes, they're also cream. Well, I guess the Westman Atelier stick is also cream, but it's more of a shade and a line. It makes my face look thinner, which I love, but I don't think it does the bronzing. And I don't wanna use a bronzer because then it becomes too much. So that's why I love this tone 4, because it does it 2-in-1. It has that shade where it is kind of contouring, but it gives a little bronzing, meaning I can put a lot more, not just the line. I can kind of put the full frame of my face, and that way bring light to the center. And by the way, I did use, I don't know if I said it at the beginning, I put a little bit, I've been trying out the Rare Beauty concealer, which I've been loving. And that is a big thing for me to say, because I don't use concealer. I don't like concealers. They all usually crease up quite a bit on me. But this one is seamless in that way, meaning I don't even feel it. I have it on, but it does cover. It does look smooth. It sets very quickly. So I'm really been enjoying the foundation from Rare Beauty. I mean, the concealer from Rare Beauty. So as you know, I have a little sample, and this is the 180W. And a little tiny bit goes a long, long way. So let's see here. I'm gonna use just a tiny little bit to cover. If you notice this around, I'm gonna use that. And obviously, is noticeable on both sides of my face. So neither of the foundations really cover it. And of course, I could put a little bit more, another layer of both of the foundations. But it's not usually how I apply my foundation. I like it very light. And so I prefer to cover those things with the concealer like I'm doing right now. And there you go. So this is Lisa's, and this is L'Essentiel. But look at the wrinkles, guys. Look at the wrinkles over here. Of course, they're there. I mean, I'm not saying that they disappear, but these ones are more pronounced. And as time goes by, this starts becoming more and more and more pronounced. So definitely will not be my foundation of choice. Having said that, look how blurry and you know, brings the brightness and everything. So it works. Unless I find a way to really moisture or prime or blur before I place the foundation, is not working. All right. So let's go into, I think so far I've answered the question, how did they compare in a visual matter? Now the question is, how does it compare with La Mer? Because to me, that's more the comparison. But, so I have here Blush and Glow. So I have the colors Joy and Bliss of the blush. And then I have Transcend and Flaunt of the Glow. And so the blushes seem very neutral sort of thing, very popping. And then this one, metallic gold and rose gold. And you know me and the rose gold. I know it's very trendy. I know that's what's happening. I know it works for many people. Not my favorite in my skin color, but let's have fun. So the first one I'm gonna try is the Bliss, because it looks very neutral, looks a little in the pinkish side. So I'm very curious about this. All right, I'm looking at the foundations. This one blurs any pores, no pores. This one, I can see little dots, little tiny dots. They don't bother me because, again, pores are not my big issue. And having these little tiny things that really doesn't bother me. And especially if I would put like powder brush, blush, and all of that, I don't think you will notice, but I am observing the difference, right? So, wow, this is creamy and light and spongy. Wow. So I don't know if I should use a brush or, yeah, let me use a brush here. All right, so you saw I apply it with my fingers. And now I am applying it. I'm using a brush. Nice, eh? I might have put a little bit too much. So let me put a little bit of the foundation brush and just go over what I applied too much, which is in the front. I have to be careful. It seems like I always do that. I'm learning. I'm learning the preciseness that the video shows. You know, because in real life, I'm like, I can get away with it. But on the video, guys, it's precise. All right. Well, it seems that it gives color enough. You see here, I put a lot less. Let me put a little more. I'm using the tiniest bit. Tiniest bit. Now, how does this compare to Lisa's Eldridge blush? Very, very different. I mean, this one is so creamy, soft, light. You know, you feel it like very, very light consistency. And the Lisa Eldridge is a lot more cream. Like you pull it out and it's a little thick. It comes in a little line through the tube. And then once you do this, I mean, it doesn't feel hard, but it's a little more pasty. This is like fluffy light. You saw that. Very, very thin. And it stains quite a bit. I mean, look how beautiful, right? I like it. You know, using cream, I guess it would be easier because it comes with an applicator, and I guess once you pull out the applicator, you just put a tiny bit and then you can do what I did with the brush. I don't think I could have done it so well with my finger. So I think you would need a brush. But I prefer the ones that come in like in an iPod, like let me show you. I showcased the Clé de Peau, so I prefer doing something like that than more liquidy like this one. But I can see the application being a little different, and how it applies at the end, it looks more beautiful, I think, or a little, yeah, a little more puppy or coming from within sort of color. So there's the payoff, is in the application. I feel just more comfortable with the other ones that I go like that, and I can apply with my fingers. And not that this you can't, but I just find it easier. But I like them. I like this color. I like what it does quite a bit. So now let me put a little bit of the highlight. And I am going to use the rose gold, which is translucent, because I find the front might be a little too dark, but oh my God, look at that color. Jesus. It totally reminds me of Charlotte Tilbury. You know, the rose gold. I think she's the queen for any rose gold, but let's just apply a little bit of, wow, these are gorgeous. I'm telling you, I'm really liking the brand Rare Beauty. There's a lot of things that I like about them. It seems like new technology because the textures and how things work are so different than what I'm used to. Oh, and we're gonna do a full look, but I'm very tempted, and now I couldn't help it. I don't know if I was supposed to do this, but I'm very curious of how this looks. And this is the I'm using the highlight as a, obviously, eye shade. I'm just putting it on my lid. Maybe a little bit in the inner corner, just because. Oh my God, this is so gorgeous, guys. Look at that. So easy. And then if you use her liquid eyeliner, the Matte, which is one of my favorites, I've been bragging about it. Unfortunately, I run out. I mean, for me to run out of a liquid eyeliner, never in my life. That's because I really like it and it's so easy to, so I think I will be getting it again. Because I did get other ones, but I think they're a little more formal, a little more thing. But for everyday wear, that, and then for example, this, okay, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the blush and the highlight. Can't help it. It's beautiful. Now, I haven't tried her lipsticks. Now I'm very tempted to do. What I have for today, let's put some lipstick on because I hope it doesn't deviate. I'm still going to use some of the Pat McGrath eyeshadows, but I want to put a little lipstick on. And so I have here Buff or Suburbia from Pat McGrath. And I'm gonna use the Suburbia because I think this is the one that goes with more of the Divine Rose, or this palette that I'm gonna be trying, which is also in the peachy pink, purple, you know, sort of thing. And I'm applying the lip liner, which look how gorgeous. Okay. And so I have here many to try, but I think I'm gonna start and then we'll see if we remove it at the end with the Divine Rose. Because I have the Divine Rose, or let's see what this is. Now this is more of a red, and this is brand new. I just got it. This is called Skinsane. Skinsane. So Skinsane and Divine Rose. Ooh. Oh. I think I'm gonna try the Skinsane, and I'll tell you why. Because let's see how strong my eye comes. This is sort of strong, right? We might have to go there. Because I wanted not a light, because I want to use the purple and lilac in it, but not a very strong sort of eye look. So we'll see, but for now, I'm gonna apply the Skinsane, and then we'll see if we change it at the end. So it seems that this is a softer lipstick shade, and it's just because the lip liner is has more color, it looks a little stronger, but that's nice, right? I mean, look, it's very nice, and it has some gloss that I will try with it. So far I'm liking it. I like that a lot. Wow. That for a day, everyday wear, looks beautiful. Very, very natural looking. A lot more natural looking, like the Lisa Eldridge liquid shades, or like the Jean or Rose Gold from Charlotte Tilbury. This is a very, very light, subtle. I'm telling you, I see these youngsters, I think that's the trend. Very soft pinks, very some highlights, and it's just about the liquid liner. I really like it. I'm starting to talk like the youngsters. I really dig it. All right, how is the foundations going? Beautiful, right? Lisa Eldridge. Guerlain. Look at the wrinkles in the top, guys. You see there? Look at this side. Very blurry, you can't see them. I mean, can't deny that. That's why I wanted to do it on camera. Because even though I love the brightness, look at the brightness. This doesn't give me that brightness. It gives me a very subdued, natural sort of blurring, but blurring. You see that? Wow. But the brightening of this side. Now, I wonder, like, if you put a brightening primer or illuminating, but I wouldn't do that because I think this foundation, this is the look. You see, like very, you know, sweet and nice. That's what I mean when I describe it like that. So let's continue with some eyeshadows, and I'm gonna do a very simple but pretty look, I think. At least that's what I'm going for. So as of course, as usual, Wayne Goss number 20, and I'm gonna take this one, which is the crease color of this palette. You know, most Pat McGrath palettes, they have one that is usually used for the crease, and I'm applying it very, very lightly because I want a very lightly color, and I hope I didn't mess it up by putting the highlighter all over my lid. I don't think so. The good news about makeup this time is that everything goes with everything, which I appreciate it. All right. Well, so far so good, of course. That's what happens when you have luxury makeup, really. More and more, the application becomes so easy. Especially if you're not that talented, like me. So far, look how beautiful, very light and soft. And now what I really want to do is put this one. But I'm not sure because I want a little bit of pink just to show above. So I'm going to put a little bit of this pink just in the middle, right here. In the middle. And I'm going to start from the crease and I'm going to lower it. I want it just a little bit here. So in a way, I guess this could be kind of a, they call it halo sort of eyeshadow look where you put these sides on one color and the center in another. I'm just not very sure what I want in the two sides because I don't like to put more color here. Usually that narrows my real estate. So what I'm going to do is the first color, the one I use for the crease, I'm just going to make sure that is on the outside. And I guess I will put just a tiny bit. Well, let's make it a halo. So what I'm doing is I'm using this first one and I am putting it in the inner corner and above. And then I'm going through the crease and then I'm bringing down on this side. And then I'm putting the bright pink in the middle, but not all the way down here, just here in the middle and up. Because what I want in the lid will be this purple. All right. So now let's put that purple in. And I'm hoping I'm making sense. I'm really hoping that I am making sense. That doesn't sound right, does it? All right, should I use my finger? I'm gonna try the brush first with that sort of sparkly purple. Okay, now I'm gonna use my finger. Definitely finger, guys. If not, we would have been here all day. Wow, look how beautiful. Yep, that's what I wanted. The only thing is, I want a little bit more of the pink here in the center. You see what I'm doing? Yeah. So I really want the pink to show a little bit up. You see that? Yep. Beautiful. All right, and last, because I'm seeing it as we speak, I need a little bit of definition on the outer corner, so I'm going to use this darker brown. And I'm going to start sort of just as if it was a liner. And I'm observing how much of it do I need. I was carrying the mirror of the Mcgrath palette, so heavy. So that's not useful. So now I'm pulling out this other mirror. And so I am lining the bottom and the outside. More than lining, because I will use an eyeliner. I am just measuring is a big word, but how much of that brown I'm gonna put in. And so I'm looking for a little thicker brush than the one I was lining with. And now I'm gonna just bring it in a little bit, just so the outer corner gets more emphasized. But I don't wanna lose the pink thing in the middle, okay? So I'm just emphasizing here my little crease, bringing it down and blending. And I am gonna bring it down here a little bit. There you have it. That's it. I'm gonna reapply the purple. And I'm just applying the purple in the lid and in the center. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, I love it. Yes, yes, yes. I have hooded eyes. So it's like one person at the Sephora once, one of the girls that works there, I was looking at some eyeshadows, and I was asking for her opinion. And she said, "Why you spend money on eyeshadows? You have hooded eyes. You can barely see. Nobody will know the difference between one color and the next." I was bummed out. It's true. When I do that, can't tell. But hey, what I say is when we're talking and if I look down or whatever, something will bling bling you, right? Something will catch your attention. I mean, look at the difference between nothing and this. No, I think it looks nice, guys. Be with me on this one. So I'm gonna go and finalize the other side and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I don't know for how long since I was talking before was the sound of the gardeners outside. It was not until I started completing the look that I noticed, oh my God, that noise is loud. So I hope it hasn't disturbed you that bad. And I'm hoping to finalize real quick my thoughts so you don't keep hearing that noise in the background. I think it slowed down a little bit, but I better speed up what I'm gonna say. So let's finalize. So what I did was I used the Victoria Beckham, the Cocoa eyeliner, which I love, creamy, and I'm still in a learning curve with it because it's so creamy. It almost applies like a liquid liner. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. And if I didn't have eyeshadows, it would be very easy because you can blur, fix, but when you have eyeshadows, you have to really be precise and careful, but I think I did a good job and I really like it. So it's still a learning process of how to use it, but I've been enjoying it. I'm very happy I got it. So I apply a little bit more of a blush because I can see this sort of blush is a very subtle sort of look, which I really enjoy, I really like, and I will be considering getting one full bottle because I really like it and the highlighted as well. So I do recommend it for sure. And of course, the eye look. I love this palette. I love the lilac. I really wanted to do that kind of lilac. I didn't use the Tone 4 gel today, which usually emphasize my eyes, but I'm gonna leave it at this. I love the lipstick because it's in the cool pinkish side, and yet it's nude. So it kind of looks good, I think. And I'm gonna apply last a little bit of gloss. I got this golden sort of yellowish, maybe it's not the perfect for the pinkish look, but you know I like to mix and match, and since the sparks, maybe the sparks will go, right? So I'm gonna add a little bit. Yeah. Because if not, a little bit of more pink spark will work too. But I like this glossy. And since it's new, I wanted to try it, and I like it, right? You guys agree? Yay! And so finally, my final thoughts on the foundation. And now it's been over an hour since I applied it. And so I think this is how it will look. I know that the Lisa Eldridge, it will long last, but I think this one probably will be a lot longer lasting. So I know that for a fact. I like the brightening that this gives me. It does give me this nice, beautiful skin-like, except it does emphasize my wrinkles on the top and a tiny little bit here. Here, much less, but the ones in the forehead, I cannot deny. And I see a little bit of the ones here. So it does emphasize wrinkles in my skin. Maybe it's the dryness, but so there you have it. And on this side, it does have the blurring qualities. You don't see my wrinkles that far. It's blurring on the wrinkles on the top, but it does have that kind of blurring effect with the coloring that I have mentioned before. So it's up to you. Now, could you use this for a formal event? Yes, of course. I like it more for a casual because this gives me a more finished look, I think. And this is without setting spray. In fact, let's add a little bit just out of curiosity. So I have here the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray from Charlotte Tilbury. This is one of my favorites. Of course, we can just use one that is more hydrating, and I didn't put any powders. If I was gonna go out in a more formal, I probably would put some of the meteorites just to finalize everything. But I didn't use any powder blushes, so I didn't feel like I had anything to really blend in, and this blush blend perfectly, I think. So I will pin the note how long lasting this side was. But there you have it, Lisa Eldridge, number 7, and Guerlain. All right, I think that's it. Finally, the quiet sound. I don't know how long I was talking with that noise up, but I'm glad we ended in a good, quiet note. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do at this moment. Ring the bell in the right-hand corner of your screen so you know when I upload videos, which is almost every day. And please comment below and request and suggest. And thank you very much for watching. Bye.